Javier, formerly a successful advertising executive, has been unemployed for a year. He interviews for a job, showcasing his best work, but his outdated portfolio leads to rejection. Frustrated, he returns to his apartment, realizing they can no longer afford their luxurious lifestyle. Javier's wife, Marga, suggests moving back to their old apartment and selling the car. With no other choice, they decide to leave the luxury apartment and move into a dilapidated one. As Javier continues job hunting and takes classes, hoping one day to reclaim the life he had, Marga finds a job to support the family as much as possible. One day, a former colleague offers Javier a job, but upon discovering it's a 6-month unpaid internship, he becomes outraged and vents his frustration on his car, immediately regretting it. When he checks the damage, he discovers the key to their previous home. He misses his old home, and returning to the old apartment, he discovers a new family has already moved in. Back at his home, Javier, holding the key, comes up with an idea. The next day, Javier goes to the apartment. After seeing the new tenant leave, he sneaks into the building, takes the elevator to the 5th floor. Just as he is about to unlock the door, the neighbor's dog suddenly barks, making him nervous. He hurries to open the door to sneak in. Watching everything that used to be his, now belonging to another family, Javier feels jealous. He helps himself to their food, making it feel like his own place. Entering their daughter's room, he sees many gymnastics trophies. When he returns home, he sees his overweight son and forces him to go for a run until his son vomits. This leads to an argument between Marga and him. Javier expresses dissatisfaction with their current situation and dislikes the bleach smell on his wife. He drives back to the old apartment again, observing the family. He receives a call from someone interested in buying his car, but despite needing the money, he refuses. He begins to stalk the family. When they leave, Javier infiltrates the apartment and starts to snoop around. He discovers that the husband, Tomas, is an alcoholic who attends AA meetings. He also learns that Tomas caused a car accident due to drunk driving, resulting in injuries to both his wife and daughter. Javier arrives at the church, waiting for Tomas to show up. He follows Tomas to the AA meeting and fabricates an inspiring story using the details he has gleaned about Tomas's life, presenting it as his own, successfully capturing Tomas's attention. After the meeting, Tomas welcomes him. Javier seizes the opportunity to invite Tomas for coffee, and they bond over a conversation. Upon learning that Tomas is a VP at a big company, yet all of it is provided by his father-in-law, Javier devises an even more sinister plan. He returns to the apartment, tossing some meat onto the lawn. Once inside, Javier goes to the computer and changes Tomas's schedule for picking up his daughter after class. He then hears a commotion outside and sees the neighbor's dog dead, just as he planned. Later that night, Tomas and his wife have a heated argument. Tomas tries to explain, but she leaves with their daughter. Javier secretly watches them from across the street. Wanting to get closer to him, Javier attends another AA meeting. After the meeting, they have another chat. Tomas feels a connection with Javier and invites him to his home for dinner tomorrow. This is exactly what Javier wants. Javier arrives with flowers. As the intercom isn't ready yet, he waits for Tomas to come down and open the door. The gardener Damian recognizes him, making Javier nervous about being exposed. He quickly explains that he's there to pick up mail, and the flowers are for Marga later. Javier meets Tomas's wife, Lara, and their daughter, Monica, trying to make a good impression. After dinner, Javier offers to help Lara with the dishes and tells her that he is divorced with a 14-year-old daughter. Next morning, Tomas takes his daughter to school and encounters Damian. Damian gives a flower to Monica and asks Tomas about their thoughts on the old tenants. Tomas is confused, and Damian claims he made a mistake and apologizes. Javier's plan intensifies as he accelerates and crashes his car. He then calls Tomas for help, and shortly after, Tomas arrives at the scene. Javier pretends to have been drinking and intentionally wrestles with Tomas over the bottle, causing alcohol to spill on Tomas. Tomas advises Javier to treat their alcoholism like an allergy that could be lethal, just like his allergy to peanuts. Javier lies about his phone being dead and asks to borrow Tomas's phone to call a tow truck. While Tomas steps out of the car to clean up, Javier secretly sends himself an email from Tomas's account. Lara smells alcohol on Tomas's shirt and confronts him. Tomas tells her the truth, and Lara chooses to believe him. Javier tells Marga that he has sold his car. He receives a call from Damian, who claims to know what Javier is doing and wants to meet him. The next day, Javier meets Damian at the zoo, thinking that he just wants money. However, Damian hands him a Ziploc bag and blackmails him to steal a pair of Monica's underwear. Javier sneaks into the apartment, finding Monica's underwear in the laundry basket. Suddenly, Lara returns to retrieve her phone. Then she calls Javier but hears a vibrating sound behind her. Just as she's about to discover Javier, she is interrupted by Javier's voicemail. She wants to meet him, and they meet at a cafe. Lara asks Javier to stay away from Tomas, fearing her husband might relapse. However, Javier brings up the email, claiming Tomas asked for his help and that Tomas is the one who drank and crashed the car. Seeing Lara's disappointment and witnessing the argument between Tomas and Lara, Javier realizes he has taken another step closer to his plan. Javier receives a package and hides in the bathroom to open it. He has purchased 2 bottles of pepper spray and a bottle of peanut oil. He injects the peanut oil into one of the pepper spray bottles. After disposing of the trash, he takes a cab to the apartment. When he notices that Marga is following him, he changes the route and pretends to be attending a class, even though he hasn't enrolled. When Javier gives the bag to Damian, he asks for more, this time requesting Javier to place a camera in Monica's room. Realizing that Damian will continue to blackmail him, Javier sneaks into the building's utility room. Things begin to fall apart for Tomas. Javier shows up at Tomas's work and intentionally provokes him verbally, pushing him to the point of losing control and resorting to physical violence. On the other side, Damian prepares to work. As he tugs on the cable to start the leaf blower, which Javier had tampered with, it explodes. He is no longer a threat. Javier goes to Lara with a bruised face. Lara takes him back home to help treat his wounds. Javier makes her believe that Thomas has lost control and is dangerous. He gives her a pepper spray as a precaution. Javier returns home, packs his belongings and leaves. Javier attempts to please Lara by taking her and Monica to meet a gymnast admired by Monica. They take a photo together, and Javier sends the photo to Thomas, infuriating him. After witnessing Javier taking Lara and her daughter home, Thomas becomes enraged and rushes back home to confront Lara. Fearful for her life, she sprays Thomas with pepper spray, causing him to go into anaphylactic shock. Javier calls, claiming to have seen Tomas heading towards their home on his way back and expressing concern for Lara's safety. However, he has been waiting downstairs all along. Upon arriving, he finds Thomas on the ground, comforts Lara, and instructs her to stay in Monica's room. He then calls 911, wearing gloves as he swaps the pepper spray containing peanut oil with another one that doesn't. Realizing Thomas is still alive, he tells him that he doesn't deserve them before placing his hand over Tomas's mouth and suffocating him. Javier doesn't just want to take Tomas's belongings, he wants to be him. A few months later, Javier has successfully replaced Tomas and reclaimed the life he believes he deserves. His ex-wife Marga shows up and confronts him, revealing that she has found evidence, figured out the whole thing, and is going to the police. Javier threatens Marga that if she does, he will take away all the money from them to hire the best lawyer, leaving her and their son with nothing. Javier returns to his new home, a huge and modern building with a beautiful view, living with Tomas's family as his own. It truly seems like he has achieved it all.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our other videos for more exciting content.